Congratulations, gentlemen. Coach Tim, given how the final series played out, people expected this game to go down to the wire. But what sort of expectations did you set when talking to the team, and how did you take away the strengths of TNT to stay in control throughout the game?
Well, I just don't think we make too big of a deal out of this game. It's an elimination game. They're coming off a 6-game winning streak. They played day before yesterday. I just don't think they were, just not that ready for our intensity tonight. Obviously, we've been off for a week. We've been playing on this game all week, and it was a big game in terms of standings and top four. I think you just have to really appreciate the 6-game winning streak they came after starting the conference slow with 3 losses, and they're right in the fight. And we knew that, and I just think that we came out with some real ferociousness to start the game, and just were able to carry it through. But there were some mitigating instances or circumstances that allowed us to get a game like this in tonight. But at this point of the conference, when you're battling for that Final Four spot, you'll take any advantage you can get.
Thank you so much, Coach Tim. Japet, sabi nga ni Coach Tim, TNT is just coming off a game from a day earlier. How different was TNT tonight, and what were the advantages that you were able to milk personally from this game?
To be really honest, nag-focus lang talaga kami sa sarili namin. Nag-focus kami sa team. Alam namin na they're coming off a 6 winning streak. But then again, we just focus on ourselves because we can still control our standing, our destiny.
Yeah, fight for the top 4.
Yeah. So in any upcoming games, parang same mentality. We just really want to focus on our identity, our offense, our defense. So looking ahead, ganun pa rin yung mindset namin. So yeah.
Thank you, Japet. For now, opening the floor to the media.
Coach, congratulations. Coach, 2 things. One, how did you approach the game with obviously Jordan heading potential, and he did make his debut tonight. And then you mentioned about circumstances. How did the BGR rejection play to that advantage you mentioned?
Well, I think Japa said it right. We're just trying to take what we can control, and that's ourselves and what we're doing. We came into this game with the idea that this was going to be a big game in terms of trying to fight for that top 4 spot. Didn't guarantee us anything, but it did help us along the way, and it allows us to continue to control our own destiny. And we knew that we were coming up against a really big opponent who was playing with a lot of momentum, and I think that motivated us to understand that we were going to have to play a really tight game tonight, and I thought we played a really tight game on both sides of the floor. We executed defensively and we executed offensively. But again, I don't want to make it too big of a deal because, again, the mitigating circumstances of them playing just 2 days ago and coming off a 6-game winning streak, that can kind of set you up for a night like this. And I've been through that many, many times. And, they're just going to wipe this one away and move right on forward. This isn't going to bother them much at all on their goal going forward. I really believe that, and I know Chot Reyes. So he's just going to wipe this one away and move forward. It's one of those nights, and we were able to be on the good side of it this time. We've had our share of the other side, so we're glad to get it on this side.
Japet, this conference, may mga games na kayo na nanalo kayo ng convincing margins, but with this win, syempre TNT yan, ano sa'yo makakatulong to entering the playoffs and chasing that top 4?
Our focus yung growth namin as a team. When we lost, pag natatalo kami, we watch film, and we see where we can improve. So as long as we, I'm proud of the guys, man. As long as we stay disciplined, we execute the triangle, we play defense first. Malaki yung chance. There's a chance that we get the ball game. So.
Coach, good evening. Coach, you said you know Chot Reyes very well, so you didn't believe him when he said that Jordan Heading will be doubtful against Barangay Ginebra.
We didn't really give it much thought. Actually, it probably an advantage playing him in his first game, just like when we played Magnolia in Navarro's first game. They're trying to figure out where to fit him and how he play, and he's trying to figure out his teammates. It comes out either one way or the other. It comes out that he gives them a big lift. He comes out and plays great and gives them a good lift. Or he comes out and struggles a little bit, and it's usually either one or the other. And so we've been on the good side of it with Navarro against Magnolia and here in Heading against Talkentex. But I don't want to play him 4 games from now. 4 games from now, 3 or 4 games from now, they're going to figure out where exactly Heading is going to fit. And, we know he's a huge talent, and he fits the style and the tempo of which they play. Give him a little more time. He's going to be huge for what they do, and they're going to be, they also lost Gonzalez Rosser early in the game too. So I remember leaning over to Richard and saying, man, this team has suddenly gotten really deep with Gonzalez Rosser and Heading coming off the bench, along with the other guys that they have. So, they fortified their team at the right time, right before the playoffs start. So we were able to take advantage of that right tonight, but I'm afraid a lot of teams are not going to be able to continue to take advantage of that down the line.
Coach, you also breaking Maverick Anumisi coming up on injury.
Yeah, I was not intending to play him at all. And so I went over to him at the end of the game and said, you want to run, just test yourself for a few minutes and see how you feel, get yourself ready for the next game. And so he went out there and played the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game just to get a run and get a feel for the speed of the game again. But our intention was not to play him tonight. He was available, but we didn't think he had it. He only started practicing fully a couple days ago, 2 days ago, in fact. And he's been out for quite a while. So it's, we didn't want to play him. And we're still trying to be careful with Maya as well. But I'm glad Maya and Mav were able to get some time tonight.
Coach, the team standings, close fight in the top 4. And you'll be playing the final game of the elimination round. So how do you see that scenario that you'll be watching from the sidelines before you play your final?
Well, we'll see how it works out. I mean, hopefully it works to a point where that game is non-bearing, for both of us, and we're all seated in the top 4. But it's like Japeth again said, it's all about controllables. What we control and what we can't control, and we can't control what the other teams do in terms of winnings and losses. So we just got to prepare ourselves to expect a real fight with Rain or Shine for that top 4 spot on Sunday next week.
Coach, in your last 2 games or 3 against Rain or Shine, it's been one-sided. You won both the last 2, but Rain or Shine last night, they trailed big, but they almost came back, and probably it's going to be a tricky game for you facing that team, Coach Yang.
It's always super tricky when you're playing Coach Yang. His teams are always ready. We actually, right, Japeth, we used that team as an game last night as an example at halftime. San Miguel was comfortably ahead by 25 points and came back to 1 before, then CJ hits that big 4-point shot. And we said, we don't want to go through that same thing here in this second half. So we know what Rain or Shine is capable of. We know how, they come out with great energy and physicality. So it's just something we'll try to prepare for through this week.
Their bench is deep also.
All right, that wraps it up. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.